This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages, right here on Gaming Division. This is the play spot. Hey, hey, I am Kamurai, here talking about game stuff, things I've been up to lately. Life has gotten in the way, the most dangerous game of all, right? More often than I'd like, so there's not a lot to talk about, but I'd like to do a short heartbeat episode because it's been a little bit. Uh, when you have a shift in schedule and like you're just not available when you normally are, it's hard to get together and do things. But if you really care, you can make a little bit of time here and there. I'm not saying you got to go nuts. But I managed to take some time off and do some D&D with Jen. We had our weekly or bi-week, twice monthly. How do you say it? Bi-weekly. Yeah, bi-weekly or twice monthly D&D session. Next one is Wednesday, twitch.tv/mayhem underscore muse or mayhems underscore muse. And so that's always fun. We have fun there regardless of how many people show up. Sometimes we're down to 4. We've been as high as 9. And we're a rowdy bunch, but we seem to have a good time, and it's good people and good company, so it's not so bad. It's not the most. It hasn't been the most technical of games, which I could do with a little bit more of, but it's just not going to work for everybody. And for those who are available, it seems that we've got a pretty consistent flow going. So much so that this Wednesday is the last adventure of our Harry and Hillsdale adventure, whatever the hell that is. And we're going to be moving on to a Curse of Strahd adventure. And I've been debating about whether or not to switch over to using Nori or doing a more free-flowing character. I think I made a ranger that's going to work. Problem is that my characters don't fit in a D&D world. They really don't. I need to learn Iron Kingdoms, and just and start playing in that. But eventually, we'll I'll find ways. I really actually do want to do a monk character for my female uh, prize fighting character. I think that Tara would be a lot of fun in D&D. Um, and I just don't know how she fits in the way of the monk in D&D. It's a very different world there than I'm used to dealing with. It's got its own things, and having all the realms merged doesn't help me out because like TSR, like Kryn, I like for the most part. Um, Forgotten Realms, I do this all the time. I just have particular problems with D&D, but if you have good company, it definitely does it. I mean, but playing with people who don't want to play with you or don't like how you're playing, really, there's just no point to it. Don't waste your fucking time. In related news, Rooster Teeth has even decided that they're going to start doing a D&D campaign, which I find is interesting. I don't know if or how that's going to work out in the long run because they don't like doing format stuff. But apparently, like Jeff and Gus used to do D&D because of some of the old podcasts, and they talk about playing or not playing there because Gus was having problems at one point. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see them break into it. I would love to watch and enjoy more things they're doing, but I haven't the time. A lot of my watch time, and it's not even watch time because watch time goes up while I'm doing other things normally. Um, like I threw on theater mode while I was looking at a couple things to finally see that, and that was interesting. But if I'm not actively playing a game, I typically am working on a project and listening to stuff. And part of what I was working on, other than getting the stream set up and doing other things around the house, was my 5th tabletop simulator mod for Monster Office Workplace, and that should be fun to finally get to fruition. It's the problem is it's just a lot of assets. Um, but the basic stub art or whatever is already done, so I don't have to worry about doing any of that. Like the deck builder is going to end up being probably more cumbersome or whatnot. I haven't had a chance to get away and work on my warehouse in Minecraft in a while, so it's making me happy to be able to work on this just a little bit while I'm talking to you guys. And we won't be doing this very long, but whatever. Um, yeah, so we had a lot of. I went to ChupacabraCon to help Jen out with some things, and we sat on the panel, and she let me talk with her and her audience. And I don't. I think the guys in the audience were kind of like, "Let the hot chick talk," but I tried to land the expertise that I've built over the past few years. It's a lot of trial by fire, but the audience seemed receptive to the information, if not me. Um, and Jen was so free flowing with it. It was very interesting. But she is having huge technical issues. Her laptop is on its last legs. It's not going to last very much longer. She's going to find herself in a position where she's going to be unable to stream. And I don't think like I charge her rent or anything, but I think we're going to hit a situation where she's going to have to find new equipment one way or the other, even if she has to come over and borrow my setup to do the things. And that we can definitely work that out. That's not a thing. It'd be temporary anyways. But as long as I'm here, still trying to stay afloat. Drowning in the seas of agony. No, it's not that bad. I just like being dramatic. But that one was kind of supposed to be a one-shot adventure. We, the one at ChupacabraCon, if I'm not being clear, we ended up leveling up to level 5. So I took Nori, I leveled him up to 5, and it was really, really kind of fun to see him at that level because I was getting like 3 attacks around, 2 normal ones, and then like I'd be able to frenzy or whatever for a 3rd. And it's only going to get crazier as time goes on. And if I have a character, I don't know. It's like, it's just a lot of the base character things don't interest me the way they are. I don't know. Like, I'm so weird. Like, I like the idea of role playing with people, or like playing games with people, but I feel like it'd be better in a digital setting. I've always felt that way. As much as people like the old school, I think as those people peel away, I think D&D Online is going to grow and become a better thing. Load the module or whatever, which is just going to end up being an open world. And then you have your characters, your friends, and then you go through the adventure. Essentially, like Baldur's Gate would be one module out of the Forgotten Realms realm or adventure set. Yeah, so it'd be an adventure set, and then you'd have individual adventure modules inside. So, yeah, I think that's really the way to go. Is it depends on people making better products. Everyone has some kind of weird expectation that like, no, you're going to spend a year, if that, making a game, and it's going to be perfect, and that's the end of the product, and we're going to move on to something else. It's like, no, you can put somebody on something, have a playable version with one adventure up in a year, and then just spend years after that creating worlds and modules for that. And I don't understand why more people haven't done things like that. And nobody listens to me when I say shit like that because they're like, I don't have the credits to my name to have the clout. But it's a viable model. It's something people would be interested in, and it would keep them around. And if you go to a pay by adventure model, like you can even do like the first one as a freemium, so like everyone can play that first adventure. But if you want things from the next adventure sets, and then you can go back and play the original with those pieces, like that's kind of a way to go. I think that's the way, because then you have it so everyone can have your platform, and so everybody's set up, or has the potential to be set up free of charge to buy your products. And if the free product's good enough, which it should be, then they'll want to spend money on it, and they'll buy the other things. And the people, and then you get the interaction from the people who don't feel like your product is worth spending money, but they play it anyways because it's free. So you get that interactivity. You just gotta have to make all the good stuff payable. And not that the basic stuff should be good, but I mean, there's a difference between the advanced stuff and the basic stuff. It's like, oh yeah, this is fun, but if you really want to like it, you should pay for the an extra class or whatever. And I would do that totally a la carte. I wouldn't force anyone to buy anything they wouldn't want. But that's just me. It's the same way I think board games should be done at this stage. Is that we should be offering essentially free clients, and then so that you can open it up, you can play with it, you can get the pieces on your own. But the part that manages it is the server. And if you want the server, you have to pay for it like you would a normal board game. And what that allows is for people to buy servers and then play with their server with any of their friends from anywhere in the world, just like you would a physical board game, except being digital, you can play with whoever you want to share with. And the argument against that model is that, well, no, then people will group up and buy it, and will lose sales on those other people. No, you won't, because they're not going to buy your product anyways, because it's not what they want. This is something they would want, so it's how you should do it. You meet the people's demand. Meh. And like, I really haven't had board game stuff, like video game stuff. Like, I'm really happy to have jumped on Minecraft here, even for just this long, and do this mindless warehouse task. But board game new, or like, we didn't even play Mario Kart recently, but board game news, we finally broke out the new pandemic versions that I bought, and so we've got all the roles and we've got all the events, and I really like the emergency events, the bad ones. I think that not only does it add an extra round to the game to help with timing, but it has a great way to mess with things. I actually like the virulent epidemics as well, the idea that the epidemics do more than just like what they normally do, but we weren't playing with a fifth strain yet because we were trying to get a hold of the game again. And so we played 2 games. We lost the first one, we won the second time, and we used new roles both times. I played the virologist, which I really liked, but I realized throwing away cards is actually not a great strategy. I think we ran out of black cards, so we couldn't get the cure in time. Like, we had all the cards, we just couldn't get them to each other by the end of it. So there's that. And then she was playing not the dispatcher, the field specialist. He's got like he can cure in cities next to him, and then what's the other thing that then she can like once per turn move me, and we missed that, and I think that's why we lost, because there was a couple situations where we could have saved some actions by having her move me. I think my favorite new role so far, at least, is the generalist. You get 5 actions instead of 4 every turn. I love consistent powers. I think they're a lot better than in these specific situations you can do this, because the power's only worth as much as you use it. And we used the shit out of a researcher in the following game. We actually turned down the containment specialist and the medic. Like, we could have had a board clearing team there, but with only 2 people, like, you kind of have to be careful. And I turned down the quarantine specialist, the general, the commander. I can't remember what he is, but he's the one that allows you to place quarantine markers. I was really excited about using him, but I turned him down for the the virologist, and I turned them to the medic for the generalist. Good orange. Eat your fruits. I'll make no advocacy for veggies here. But it, it's a great game, and I love how it flows, and having the new events and shuffling in X amount of certain ones and not having the same ones every time, along with the new events or emergency events, really freshens the game. So now we've had a small world level of freshness with Pandemic, and I really, really like it. We didn't play with the hinterlands either. I think that's what we're gonna do next time. Is we're definitely gonna use the hinterlands, because that essentially gives you new areas and slightly new mechanics. Now that we've got the emergency events, the new event style of how to do things down, and what was the other thing? And we'll start using the fifth strain. I think that's going to be the big deal. Is to make sure that we're using the fifth strain. We get used to having that on the board. I don't think we're going to go super bug. Yeah, I'm not totally excited about that yet. But it'll still be fun. Why are we... Oh, really? It's super annoying when you want things placed a certain way and you don't have it. So, like, I'm looking forward to doing, like, Superbug or Virology, but I think just having the fifth strain there will be enough excitement for the next game. And getting used to the new roles will be super helpful. Yeah, we'll just wall this in, why not? Oh, Minecraft, you crazy thing. I still don't understand why people like who play Stardew Valley will question things like Minecraft, or why Minecraft was ever a question if so many people were getting into like Stardew Valley. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Especially since Stardew Valley, well, maybe because Stardew Valley is a game and this isn't. Maybe that's part of the point. Alright, we're going to go ahead and end there. It's been almost 20 minutes. Not quite. I just don't have a lot of gaming stuff to talk about. Apparently Sid's been playing Soma. I haven't got to watch it or hang out with her while she's playing. But thanks, Sid, for putting that on the channel. Go check her out, her stuff. And I haven't looked at what Geek and Sundry has been doing, and God help me if I've been able to look at what Rooster Teeth is doing for gaming. I haven't touched the Weirdlings in a while either. It's just they're just very inconveniently scheduled for me. I'm either working or doing things during that time. It's just how my life is, and it doesn't matter. So there's the life lesson to walk away with today, is that it doesn't matter. Oh man, go play some games, enjoy life. Until you see me next time, I am Kamurai, and that's game over. You want to see anything else we're up to, go to click the annotations, and they'll take you to other channels. Thanks for watching.